Welcome to the Explainer. So let's just dive right into this, because today we are looking at a truly seismic shift that's basically transforming the entire world of enterprise finance. We're talking about the powerful integration of artificial intelligence into SAP FICO. Now, if you work in enterprise finance, you already know the landscape is changing at lightning speed, right? Well, today we're going to break down exactly how AI is actively automating processes and completely reshaping the very foundation of financial management.
But before we get into the weeds, I want to address the elephant in the room right away. Whenever we talk about automation, the very first question is always about job security. Is AI coming to replace your finance team? Well, looking at our source material today, the answer is a definitive no. AI is here to upgrade and totally empower your finance professionals, not replace them. The goal isn't to take the human element out of the equation. Actually, it's to elevate it by stripping away all that tedious, manual labor that honestly just holds teams back.
All right, moving right along to Section 1, the shift and the evolution of SAP FICO.
So for years now, SAP FICO has served as the standard, the traditional backbone of enterprise finance. But even the gold standard has to evolve. We're moving away from that traditional, highly repetitive idea of transactional bookkeeping. Thanks to AI and machine learning, the new standard is what's being called intelligent financial orchestration. So SAP FICO, it's no longer just a static record keeper. It's totally evolved into this dynamic system of insight and action. We aren't just logging numbers anymore, guys. We're orchestrating them intelligently.
Okay, let's jump into Section 2, the mechanics of automating finance with AI. Let's actually break down the mechanics of these AI workflows to see how this genuinely changes your day-to-day life. Take invoice processing, for example. AI steps in to completely automate that super tedious three-way matching process. That alone drastically reduces human errors and those annoying duplicate payments. Then you've got journal entry automation. Machine learning literally learns your organization's posting behavior over time, which virtually eliminates those frustrating month-end closing delays. And then in cash application, AI actively matches incoming payments to outstanding invoices. AI doesn't just assist with these tasks, it completely handles them to speed up your entire closing process.
And the absolute most crucial point here is the sheer scale of the impact, 90%. When AI handles cash application and matches payments to invoices, it does so with a staggering 90% accuracy rate. Just pause and think about that for a second. Think about the massive volume of manual verification hours your team instantly reclaims when a system hits 90% accuracy entirely on its own. That is huge.
And that incredible reduction in manual effort leads us directly into our next point, freeing up finance teams for actual strategic analysis. This is where organizations like Rasta Infotech really come into play. By integrating these specific AI workflows into your SAP FICO environment, they make sure your finance professionals can finally step away from endless data entry. Instead of spending hours staring at screens trying to match invoices, your team can pivot to focusing on high-level strategy and deep analysis. Which brings us to Section 3, the autonomous era and its strategic benefits. Now we're stepping way beyond just saving a little time on invoices. We are entering what's known as SAP's autonomous enterprise. This is an entirely new ecosystem that utilizes specialized AI assistants to orchestrate incredibly complex financial duties. We're talking about really smart tools like the Close Assistant and the Cash Management Agent. And let's be totally clear, these aren't just passive, rigid algorithms. They're proactive agents designed to seamlessly handle reconciliation, complex forecasting, and strict compliance standards, running quietly in the background while you steer the ship.
I absolutely love this quote from our source material because it hits the nail on the head regarding the human side of this shift. The skill set shifts from configuration to AI-assisted process design. This completely changes the game for SAP consultants and finance teams alike. You're no longer sitting there just configuring software settings. You're designing intelligent, flowing processes right alongside AI. And it's definitely worth noting that this is exactly the kind of transformative, big-picture shift that Rasta Infotech actively supports and guides companies through.
So what does this AI impact in SAP FICO actually deliver? Basically, 4 massive strategic benefits. First up, efficiency. We're talking significantly faster closes and way less manual intervention. Second is compliance. AI ensures much tighter audit trails and strict regulatory adherence, which, let's face it, is total peace of mind for any financial leader. Third, forecasting.
Predictive analytics empowers CFOs with truly actionable insights, letting them look ahead instead of constantly just reporting on the past. And finally, resilience. With AI-driven agility, finance teams can adapt incredibly quickly to crazy market volatility. So these aren't just incremental improvements, guys. These are massive competitive advantages.
Let's head right into Section 4, Empowering Your Future with Rasta Infotech.
Okay, so how do organizations actually transition smoothly to these autonomous finance ecosystems without completely disrupting their current operations? Well, Rasta Infotech takes a really smart, three-pronged approach to guide this digital transformation on a global scale. Step 1 is their consulting expertise. They draw on over 20 years of SAP consulting experience, plus professional blogging to navigate all those tricky, complex integrations. Step 2 is training and enablement. This ensures that human teams don't just get handed new software, but they're actively helped to adopt and really master this AI-powered SAP FICO system. And Step 3 is a heavy focus on SEO-optimized knowledge sharing. They distribute high-retention educational content through blogs, webinars, and YouTube, all to empower finance pros all over the world.
So let's circle back to our core premise to bring this whole thing together. AI does not replace, it empowers. When you combine the absolute cutting-edge capabilities of AI-driven SAP FICO with a trusted, experienced partner like Rasta Infotech, organizations are able to fully unlock that incredible efficiency, rock-solid compliance, and deep strategic foresight we've been talking about. You are literally giving your team the tools they need to operate at their absolute highest potential.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly powerful question drawn directly from our source material today. With AI handling all the heavy lifting of transactional data, finance is no longer just the corporate record keeper. It officially becomes the strategic center of the entire business. The instruments are all tuned, and your AI agents are in place and ready. So, are you ready to step up to the podium and become the conductor of your own enterprise transformation? Just think about what your team could achieve with that kind of power at their fingertips. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this provided a clear, exciting vision of exactly where the future of enterprise finance is heading.